Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Indigo Tarot Odyssey. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in, and your recent likes, subscribes, comments have been so awesome and helpful to expand the channel and to help keep it going. I can't thank you enough. My husband told me this morning there was like over 165 countries all interacting and getting information and coming onto the site. That's so exciting because, it is all about, energy healing and all that is all about like global communication, right? You hear something nice that uplifts your day and you're galvanized to do something nice for somebody else and you feel just really happy. You know what I mean? I would always watch a quick tarot read with Tilly or somebody that had a really uplifting message and knew what they were about. I prefer that blend of a good sense of humor, earthy, generous, someone who knows what they're talking about. They have good audio, of course. I like to be able to hear what they're talking about. And it just, their presence brings you up and it elevates your day or your evening or whatever and makes you feel really good. So tonight's thing is going to be really cool. It is basically, should I make the first move? What happens in a lot of relationships in the runner, chase, or pursuit game, all that stuff is usually the more extroverted is the one to make the moves, or people have those outdated ideas that it should be the male. Not so at all. It should be the person. Now listen, I'm a complete extrovert and I will basically say anything to anyone, and I love communication and I love education and I love getting in there and mixing it up. But like anything, it depends on your energy and how you feel at that moment. You know what I mean? You can just be very run down from something, so you feel like that's not the moment. But the question is, how much do you want to open a dialogue with this person? If on a scale of 1 to 10, it's anywhere 8 and above, just do it. You know what I mean? They're probably waiting for you. Some people have very high anxiety over things like that, of approaching someone they're interested in. If you do not have that, be helpful and just go up to them, because what happens is it's not necessarily apparent. They're just kind of quiet, but yeah, open that dialogue. Anything. Hey, I like your phone is cool. Oh, your hair looks really neat. People get haircuts all the time. They diet, they do all kinds of things in their physical self. Just make a little comment about it. People love that. They love to be noticed, they love to be seen, and it's very easy. You just sidle up. How's it going? How are you feeling? Just people being noticed and being seen is enough, honestly. And you've opened that door to a dialogue, and it's really cool. So what we're going to do is I pick a card in this. Should I make the first move? 1, 2, and 3. I'll let you just look at those for a second and make your choice. Yeah, I speak to people a lot on this in all my different jobs, because it'd be very fast paced, and a lot of it in the food industry and catering and stuff. There would be customers, other staff, everybody saying, wow, that person is so nice, they're so funny, they're so generous, they're so this, they're so that. And it's like, why don't you talk to them? And they're so afraid of being shot down that fear just kills it. So you got to let go of fear, because what is going to happen? Who do you know that you've ever said hi to that just spun on their heel and turned and walked in the opposite direction? That would be weird of hell. That would be weird as hell. I'd be like, excuse me, mayor of nowhere, could you spare a second to say hello? I find people that are obscenely rude and they live in their own world, like narcissists and stuff, comical. I'm not insulted by anything, by any way, shape, or form of people that are completely self-involved or whatever. I do find it funny because people who take themselves really seriously, they rarely have a lighthearted, good life, because they're so worried how they appear to others that it creates stress in their life, because it's really just all about ego and image, and everybody's just got to drop that. I've been very lucky with how I was raised. I just a big, funny, crazy family, but my father he had a lot of dignity and a very strong character and a lot of presence, and he was very selective with his words. He didn't talk that much, but when he talked, it made sense. And I always caught him studying stuff every night. He had more of those freaking National Geographics and science magazines and all those things. And he'd always lay down after dinner, and he had very good taste in dinners. He liked to prepare his dinner and do a really good job, and then he'd sit down and he'd read. And, I would watch that, and I watched how others were around him. And to this day, I have my relatives come up and go, your father provided me with my first loan to get a motorcycle. My mother's brother, my uncle, told me this. I never knew this my whole life until I was like 40-something years old. And it's just something he'd do. And he would take on employees at his company that didn't speak a word of English. We had these lovely French neighbors. They had a big, big family. Just things like that. And my mother taught the wife to drive, and they became very close friends of ours. So things like that, just reaching out and connecting, you never know what's going to happen from that level. So I'm going to start with number 1. Let me see. Should I make the first move? Oh, 10 of Swords. And the Empress. So yeah, that's a resounding yes, of course you should. Here's why. That person that you're thinking about approaching, they feel like they have been shot down like the buck in the woods. They have been attacked by every hunter out there, and they feel like shaky on their confidence. They, I believe, will not come to you because of that. They have a shaky self-image. Although they could be the most loving, gentle, sweet person out there, their psyche is damaged by past love affairs or relationships where people treated them badly. So instead of building them up and offering them love and support, it damaged them, so they are insecure at this stage and they have anxiety about approaching you. I find that so lovable, and I have such tenderness in my heart for people that, have insecurities, that you can see them, they sometimes are almost in pain in social situations, and I'll always help them. I'm always that weirdo at a wedding where I have that guy that's spitting all over me because he's got, it has happened. They just have a lisp or whatever, and then they drink, and then they start talking nonsense, and I'm trying to keep them away from other people that are having a good time. And I remember at one occasion, this man just kept telling me over and over, I think he was saying, I am a magnate of business, or I am a whatever. It was just something, and I was like, oh, this is my job tonight, that sort of thing. This person has experienced someone stabbing them in the back and treating them terribly, and swords are about ideas, so it's in their head. They have this idea they are not good enough, or that they would be foolish or seem silly. So treat them with kid gloves and loving, and here you are, and this is why you're the Empress or the Emperor. If you are the female, you have a very wistful, loving way about you, and you have that dreamy aspect, and they see you as exalted, so they're a little impressed by the sheer stature of you and the way you speak and the way you carry yourself, and they actually think you're too good for them, so they wouldn't even think of approaching you. So resounding yes, you would have to be the one, or you would never see that person away again. And that's funny that you got the Empress, because here you have the Queen of Wands. And I'm going to read it from the booklet. And it's so funny how many people, after you get to know them, go, oh, I would have never approached you because this, and that. The notion or the idea they have of people. Like, I've had several people tell me at my last job, oh, I thought you were just this sweet little pushover because you would always do things for people and make people things and, and help them and this and that. But damn, when your shackles are raised, do you feel like something is wrong? I am afraid of you. Because, yeah, it's like, people will have a generalization of you, and then when they know the real you or whatever, or they get in a conversation with you, they're like, wow, I wouldn't have thought, that this mattered to you, that, you open that dialogue, you start talking to them, and that's how you get to know people. But yeah, they're fragile and they're shy, and they see you as up on a pedestal, and they are a little threatened by what they feel is your loftiness. You know what I mean? They feel that you're above them, and that's sad when people do that, but that happens when people are injured in their psyche, and that they feel less than, and I feel like you would make them feel so good. So let's see what this says. This is about coolness, the magic of the bay leaves. You must fight coolness and convince your partner to be generous, both sentimentally and materially. This will bring serenity, safety, sincerity into the couple. Makes sense, right? You approach people absolutely, from the 4 cornerstones again, the honesty, the authenticity, integrity, and love. You treat people like that, and guess what? You're only going to get good returns. It's a solid foundation to work from. You don't want anything from them. You're all about, you're everything that is good when you speak like that, and you're refreshed and you're whole, and it's great. And look at that. I feel so bad. I know so many people like that. I can't even tell you that they feel less than, or they're like, there's no way he or she would ever go out with me. And know your fears. That's fantastic, because that brings out fear in people, and I think it's ridiculous to approach somebody and get to know them. But if you go about it the right way and it's just step by step like anybody, and a lot of times these are work instances, these are professional areas, these are at a party or whatever, who doesn't want someone to come up and start a conversation with them and make them feel comfortable, right? And there are funny little phrases everywhere. There are funny little instances. For instance, some of the best dialogue I've had with people where there are huge age gaps at work, and I remember having the best time with this young Spanish kid, and everybody gave him the hardest time, and they just thought he was an arrogant ass. And he was a little spoiled, but he had a problem when he was born. He only had one kidney, so he had constant shakes in one hand. It almost looked like somebody recovering from a drug addict. And I even asked him, and I went up to him and I said, do you have nerve damage in your hand? Because I was just curious, and I wanted to say in from a group that obviously thought he was recovering from drugs or something. And he said, oh no, and he said exactly what was going on. It was nice because it was a way for that to resonate and get out in the populace that this was a medical condition that he was born with, that he wasn't in fact, coming down off some drugs. Well, anyway, to make a long story short, him and I have a huge age gap, and I don't even know, he was in his early 20s, and he ended up being one of my favorite people there when we started talking about Key and Peele, because I thought it was so funny, and I was watching on one of my breaks, and he's like, you like Key and Peele? He's like, did you ever watch that one with the I said bitch? And then we started laughing, and we would share all these snippets on our phone, and we had comedy in common, that thing. And he was so happy because he knew that people saw him a certain way. And those are the people I connect with first, you know what I mean? I like sometimes those outcasts, those outsiders, those people like that. I can pick them out right away because lots of times I am like that. I can come in and I carry a very strong energy. I realize as people do stop and look at me, and I've gone to like a counter where I've worked and had a girl be laughing with her girlfriends, and I'll get to the counter wherever I am when I was doing barista work, and drop that smile and replace it with like a snarl. I'm serious. And when you see stuff like that, you're like, oh, here we go. And verbally, I mean, most people are not a match for me because I don't care. I could care less. I feel everybody should lift each other up, and when they don't, I can be as vicious as the rest by not even saying anything but have that look. But young people that aren't aware do not know this. And this person, I feel that you have your eye on there. They do have a shyness. They do have a sensitivity, a high sensitivity. So I believe the banter in the, how sometimes people are like, oh, you look good today. Where'd you get your hair done? The city dump? Things like that. I would goof around with coworkers saying that. That won't go over well with this person because they're already sensitive and they feel that they are beneath you. They see you as this, they see you as regal and lovely, and they're just charmed by the fact that you would even come to them. So knowing your fears is, what have you got to lose to say hello to someone? Absolutely nothing, and it will make people's day. I mean, it's crazy the stuff where dialogues can leave. I ended up getting on a plane and going to Washington, D.C. and being involved in a huge march when I was 19, 20 years old by just talking to someone at a hospital. And he was putting all this together. And it was funny. I remember this exact conversation. I was wearing purple, and he goes, oh, are you of royalty? And I just started laughing, and I love that as an opening line. And I said, probably, are you? And he's like, it's just your head to toe purple. And he goes, isn't that reserved for royalty? I said, well, I most likely am, so just don't you worry your head about it. And then he's like, you're cool. And we sat down, and he was fantastic mathematician, but like a lot of people that are very honed in on higher education, their social skills were a little off whack, and I just loved him. We became a very close friend. He ended up being a roommate of one of my brothers. It was crazy. It was just very weird over that one sentence and responding to it. So yeah, number one, you should be definitely the one that approaches, because that person is in a mindset that they just can't do it, and that they wouldn't be received well. So they would appreciate your attention, I'm sure. Let me see what we got. Ooh, Two of Swords. Oh, nice. Look at that. And Page of Pentacles. So Two of Swords. Lots of times that is a blockage, and it can be met also with a blindfold over someone in Two Swords. Oh, so this is basically your thoughts. And, okay. I feel like that this person wants to come to you, and here's why. I feel like you're a little blindsided by something, and you're in your head a little too much. So sometimes when you're in that, your dialogue does not come out natural. It doesn't come out as banter. It comes out as forced and a little bit nervous. And so the Page of Pentacles is someone that's delivering. They want to deliver a message. I feel in this case, they want to come to you. And you're too far in your head, and what would normally just come out as, oh, hello, how's it going, would be like, I have diarrhea, that sort of thing. And I've had people at work try to flirt with somebody and say the most insane things, and I'm like, and then their face would turn bright red. They would lose their mind all over the place because they're so in their head of trying to sound cool or relaxed that it works against them. And you can't force that just naturalness. I mean, you can do deep breathing and relax your body and stuff, but yeah, too much in the head at that particular moment. And the Page of Pentacles, that's somebody ushering in a message and wanting to say something. And I love this card. It's very sensuous, like how it's done. I love that. This person that you're thinking about is very laid back about the situation. So it's like that guy who's, Spicoli in that movie where he's like, hey, how's it going? It's like that. They're very loose and they're very authentic. And once they start speaking, then you feel like that. But if you had to be the one to initiate the conversation, you would be too far up in your head. But they're going to put you at ease by their, their Spicoli-like nature of, hey, how's it going? They don't necessarily have to be a stoner. They're very relaxed in their person. What's going on there? Oh my God, some Heine Graben. I always love throwing one of these because they're so funny. And being patient. Yeah, and you're going to be patient. And here's what I'm going to read from the little booklet. Yeah, let them have their approach in their own time. Because what for one person is ideal for that moment in that window can be disastrous for somebody else. You know what I mean? Different people are in different states of relaxation, communication, all those things. Like I know a person that when he would try to be flirty or whatever, he would use 10 words when he could use one, and they didn't even make sense the way he put the words together, so he almost sounded off his rocker or totally high. I don't know, but yeah, it's when you're observing, it's easy and it's comical, but it's torturous for the person involved if they just can't do that. You know what I mean? And it's weird, chemically something happens to you when you're attracted to someone anyway. So this one is about touching, the magic of the hare on the dove, growing closer, growing apart, diluting, confirming. Every game of pleasure must end in doubts, and they must be dispelled. For sure. So also, yeah, if you get a chance and you're with this person or whatever, and they say something that's funny or witty or whatever, just briefly touch their arm. They like that little bit of human contact. If they have something on their face or whatever, you brush it away. But always move slowly when you're going into somebody's private space, especially if you're going at their face, and let them know why you're doing it. Say, oh, you have some flour on your face, or you have an eyelash on your face, or your hair, something like that. Let them know that, because sometimes people are very private about their space, but they also appreciate that. And that looks fun. That looks like a good talk with the rabbits. Like, what y'all doing? What's going on there? Yeah, so in this instance, wait for them. They have a very natural everything about them, and it'll put you at ease. And then your words will come out super chill. You know what I mean? They won't come out upside down, backwards, and like you belong in a special school for sure. I've just seen it so many times at work and stuff with somebody trying to be cute and it backfires. It's scary as hell, and it's also pretty funny, but I don't want that to happen to you. 5 of Wands. Okay, 5 right-aways of conflict. Wands is of action, so this is a conflict-orientated action, followed by Judgment. I'm going to get a clarification on this because, okay, what's happening is I feel this person that you are attracted to, whatever, they are involved in conflicts at work or family right now, and they would love your approach. Here's why. When people are involved in personal conflicts at work, family, anywhere, their mindset is completely different. They are on what I call the shit record. It goes around and around and around. They're like, why would this person say this? Why would this person do that? They feel attacked. So all you would have to do is smile and say, hey, that's it, super thing, but be authentic. That eye contact, standing close enough where your presence is completely known, and you relax your body. There's one thing that I am always aware of when I'm around people. It is my posture, my stuff. My palms are open. I don't do the hands on the hips. I don't do the arms crossed unless I really am a little peeved about something. And I only do that to Ian when we're shopping, because I usually want to get the hell out of wherever we are. Stuff like that. Do not cross your arms. Have your chest open. Hands by your side, palms up. It's an honest approach. This person is definitely involved in people being conflicted with them. They want something from them. they have turmoil in their head because of it, and they feel like if you looked at them sideways you'd be judging them. They're already very delicate and sensitive, so if you just smile and say hey, that would make their day, man. They would be so happy. And let's get clarification. And I've seen that. I've seen people just been like put upon by their boss, by something, and they walk out in the world, they get in their car, they don't care if that person in front of them had 1 second when that green light started, they start honking. Emotions and thoughts are electricity. So if someone is just had a hell of a day, they're not going to be full of joy and light if they can't shake it off and they're not aware that's what's happening. And it happens a lot with people that are useful. Yep, perfect. King of Swords. Here's why. You're in control of your thoughts and your minds, and you're aware of this. You can read it on their face. You're very emotionally perceptive. You see they're embroiled in something that they don't deserve, and you are offering them the judgment-free zone, only love and light, and they love that. And King of Swords, you have very clear, honest thinking, and you're saying, hey, how can I help put this person at ease? And that's all it takes is a hey, and maybe a little compliment too. It's going to bring them back down and ground them out, and they're going to be very appreciative. And because of that, this might, and yeah, they're involved in this. See, the Ten of Swords, and that again, that's conflict as well. They need to, in this one, it's. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, see, when swords are involved, and this is great because King of Swords, it's your thoughts. Your thoughts are very direct, strong, and in alignment with what's good and the higher purpose, and they're very sensitive. So your presence is helpful to them. Oh, so 10 is squeezing, the magic of tears. Even pain can be transformed into power. Yep, there's their pain, and you're gonna elevate them by your even keel, your swift thinking, your mellow approach. Remember to your body language, that not crossing your arms, not having fists. Read the body language. Read if the eyes are darting around and they can't even really pay attention right then, for sure. You mustn't flee from emotions, but rather use them to find true essence in our desires. You like them, they're embroiled in something nasty, they don't deserve it. You come in, and basically you're like their earth angel, because you have clear thinking. You're recognizing what's happening to them. It's the true essence of our desires. You want to make somebody feel better. You like them. And here's your oracle card. Show that you care. That's perfect. That just crowns that. That's the crown and glory of that. You're showing them you care through your actions. You know what I mean? Nobody likes to be involved with low vibrational people attacking them and bothering them. They can't free up their thoughts for that loving nature and receptive energy of other people approaching them. So by you saying, hey man, I care and I want to say hello to you, you're their earth angel, you're helping them, you're using your good judgment to be fair, and you're showing that you care, and you're going to turn that person's day, week, possibly their life around. You're going to be so happy that happens. So if that's you, that's excellent. Wow. That is fantastic. So if any of you need any further clarification, you can go to the link below, and I have all my information there. If this resonated with you, remember to like, share, and subscribe. I cannot thank you guys enough. All your comments are so fantastic. You're saying the most beautiful, wonderful things. I mean, it's just great. It just lifts me up and it galvanizes me. It gets me excited. I wasn't even going to make a video today, and I started reading my things of all these people saying, you're so thoughtful, you're so loving, your beautiful words help me. All these things just is like, it's so, all the communication and the connectivity that's involved is just beautiful. You know what I mean? That's why I'm here. This reason, that's what we all got to do. We got to show we care to our spouses, to our family, to our animals, to our friends. Everybody wins in that scenario, for sure. Okay, thanks again, you guys. I'll talk to you soon.